Technologies are here to stay. Social media is a new fundamental tool in the classroom. Have you noticed how different classes are nowadays compared to those taught about 20 years ago? Undoubtedly, many of our schools did not yet have the technological devices and computer tools that today simplify the learning experience, as well as instruction by teachers. Thanks to the fact that we can use computers, cell phones, and other personal and mobile devices, a wide variety of content, as well as complex and previously inaccessible forms of information processing, now form part of our daily routines. For this reason, educational institutions, as an important part of our life and culture, were also willing to include these new technologies, many of which are here to stay. Among these current tools, we will highlight social media as one that could become a fundamental tool in the classroom. To start with, the fact that social media and networking can change the language and culture in the classroom is not so difficult to prove. According to Chen, Li, and Yao, internet language, which includes new forms of expression and slang, influences how people, especially teenagers, communicate. This phenomenon can be transferred to the classroom, modifying both the way students express themselves and the topics they discussed. For example, in many educational contexts, students use popular social media emojis and acronyms in their assignments and conversations. In response to this, teachers have integrated these forms of communication in their teaching methods to maintain students' interest and mimic their usual communicative environment. This shows how social media not only changes the language used in the classroom, but also cultural dynamics by introducing new rules and values of communication.
Taking in the above into consideration, we can infer that internal language and culture can be valuable tools in the classroom. Wu and Merit 20 and 18 also address this, arguing that using social media for language learning can contribute to the development of student intercultural competence. In other words, inte- integrating these elements into classroom can help students connect better with the connect and with each other. Proof of this could be an English teacher using platforms like Threads or X, formerly known as Twitter, to allow students to interact with native speakers, thereby exposing themselves to more authentic and varied language. What is more online discussions about contemporary cultural topics can enrich learning. We can. We also believe that in the next 20 years, new technologies will have a fundamental role in the teaching of language and culture. And in the same vein, Coach 2022 suggests that digitization and technological tools will transform teaching methods. As we see interactive by this, we also need that social media and new technologies are not only uh, changing language and cultural in the classroom today, but also project and similar change in the future of language and culture teaching. Learning could become more dynamic and effective and reflecting modern form or communication and global connection. With the advance and advancements of artificial intelligence or AI, language learning applications such as Duolingo or MENRICE could be become even more uh, sophisticated and aspire to become more similar to other social networks or similar augment and virtual reality could allow students to experience virtual cultural and emergence, improving their understanding and appreciation of different cultures uh, without living in the classroom. And in my opinion, today to have interaction and connection in the classroom, it's important to know the influence, uh, improvements, change, and new language that it's produced through social network, you, through young people and new generations. Uh, Recognize the potential that social networks have to meet educational needs and to improve the development of language skills from any environment, online or online. Social network allows teaching in a creative and functional way. From the different space, so as apps or website, it's important to recognize this signs, considering the importance of their use allows us to recognize the change and ways for teaching you to the language and culture of the internet. This is essential to teach in the best way in the classroom.
Finally, and from my point of view, we should not underestimate the capacity and variety of social media platforms that we currently use, each with its own particularities, which can become significant contributions to classroom interactions. In both teaching and learning languages and cultures, it is necessary to recognize the existence of the language and culture originated and maintained on the internet through social media. It is in these spaces that our students, as well as a large part of our society, have created new dynamics and ways of relating, based on those of the real world, but unique in their configuration and identity. Due to the great potential already demonstrated to meet the educational needs of connection with their own context and with other cultures, as well as the development and improvement of linguistic skills both online and offline, we will continue to assert that social media will keep prospering on its path to becoming one of the most fundamental tools in the classroom.